I know President Mnangagwa well from my time in Zimbabwe. He was Speaker of Parliament. He was also the Justice Minister, and frankly, a very important go-between as we would deal with Robert Mugabe, the late Mugabe, and the Zimbabwean government. So I'm very aware of Emmerson Mnangagwa, and I agree with the decision not to invite him.
The Foreign Minister of Zimbabwe, Frederick Shava, was here, and he yesterday told us that he's going to take this matter up with the U.S. government, because he says if they invited the foreign minister, they should have invited the president. What's your take?
He can attempt to do that. He can talk to Tony Blinken, our distinguished Secretary of State. He can talk to Jake Sullivan, who I've known for some years, the National Security Advisor. But with all due respect to the Foreign Minister of Zimbabwe, he's wrong. And Zimbabwe is still under U.S. sanctions, which I agree with, and it has a long road to go
and
to where it should be in terms of its U.S. bilateral.
We saw the president of the U.S., Joe Biden, today increasing the funding to Africa by $15 billion. How is that going to help Africa from what you saw happening here today?
I think that's great. I commend President Biden, who's terrific. We both love Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. I'm pleased that we are making further investments in Africa. I think that will help across the board with small business, with health investments. We did a lot to fight HIV/AIDS when I was ambassador, opening so many clinics. But across the board, that funding will be used by USAID, the Millennium Challenge Corporation, and otherwise. And the Africa Bureau at State continues to be really excellent.
Lastly, the issue of sanctions. What does Zimbabwe need to do to have these sanctions lifted?
Well, I think we need to start at the beginning. I was there in 2000 when the MDC started, won almost half the contested seats, and they were after Morgan Tsvangirai, killed some of his supporters then. I know the history well. What do they need to do? They need to hold fair and free elections that will stand up to international scrutiny.